Here's Brody Brazil.
I'll just go ahead and admit this from the very top. I have a particular rooting interest in Cowboys kicker Brandon Aubrey on two fronts. First off, he's the kicker on my fantasy team. He's had a really good season. He hits from 50-plus yards on a regular basis. He scores me a lot of points, so there's that. He's also going up head-to-head against the San Francisco 49ers this weekend on Sunday Night Football Week 8 at Levi's Stadium. So let's hope that Dak and the Cowboys, they have to settle for a lot of field goals, and because of that, Aubrey's busy. He scores some points, but they lose the game to San Francisco. That would work out really well for me. But anyway, I saw this come across the news yesterday, and it blew my mind. Brandon Aubrey had missed practice and is going to continue missing practice because he's been assigned to jury duty in Texas. What does this mean? Is he sequestered? Is he going to miss more than just practices? Will he play this weekend? Will he miss games? I'll have all of that in just a second. But Brandon Aubrey, like the reason I drafted him, not just because I knew he was good, but he's an interesting story. Take a look at his resume here. This past preseason, August 17th, he hits a 66-yard field goal in Las Vegas against the Raiders, longest ever converted field goal in the NFL. Now, it was a preseason game, so it doesn't count like that, but NFL Next Gen Stats said the kick would have also been good from 72 yards. Last year was his rookie season. It was his first pro football season. He's a Pro Bowler. He's an All-Pro in the NFL. But all of this after first trying out soccer. That's right. He didn't even start training for football until 2019. It was 2017 when he was drafted into Major League Soccer. There's Aubrey in college, playing for Notre Dame, kicking a different shape of ball around. And this is all he had ever known until trying out football at the suggestion of his wife. His journey to football goes like this. 2017, he gets drafted by and starts playing for Toronto FC 2. That's the developmental team for Toronto's MLS team. So it's like the minor league affiliate, essentially. 2018, he plays for the USL's Bethlehem Steel FC. He's released after the end of that season. And then post-soccer, he uses his degree. He's not sure what he's going to do, but he uses his degree from Notre Dame to become a software engineer. So it looks like he's just going to kind of fade away from soccer, let that dream kind of go after, again, being released from the USL team. 2019, he's watching an NFL game with his wife, Jen. They both witness a kick that is missed. I don't know by who and what team, but his wife, Jen, says, "You could do that." And so Brandon Aubrey, at the strong suggestion of his wife, just starts going through the motions. 2019 through 2022, Aubrey works with kicking coach Brian Egan. And through the pandemic, and there's the opportunity to get some one-on-one time, 2022, he becomes a professional football player for the very first time. He's drafted into the USFL by the Birmingham Stallions. He was a top kicker in that league. He helped the Stallions win 2 titles in back-to-back years. And I know he's not the quarterback or wide receiver, running back, but a kicker plays usually a very important role on a title-winning team. If you've got to win close games, you need your kicker. Well, the Stallions end up terminating Aubrey's contract the day before 4th of July, 2 summers ago, 2023, and that's so the Cowboys could sign him 3 days later. And I know we'll eventually get to the whole jury duty thing, but I just need to point out and paint out all of the backstory here because it's so interesting. This story of Brandon Aubrey, who he is, who he was, what he's become, and now what he's doing, it's all very fascinating to me. His last year's stats look like this. Best in the NFL in terms of 36 for 38 in field goals made, 157 total points. He had the third best success rate, 94.7%, kicking field goals. And as I mentioned before, he is so good from long distances. Last year, 10 for 10 from 50-plus yards. He only had 2 missed field goals, but 1 blocked. And so that means he only actually missed 1 field goal last year. Caught a lot of eyeballs and attention last season, and that's why when I did my fantasy draft for the first time in 15 years, that's right, I just got back into it this year. When I saw Aubrey's name come up and I knew it was the round where I was going to take a kicker, like he was available, that's definitely the direction I went. Here in 2024, he's lived up to expectations. 17 for 19 on field goals made. That's tied for the third most made field goals in the NFL. He's got 8 this year, another 8 from 50-plus yards out. That ranks the second most in the league from that distance. And how about this? No kicker has made more 50-plus yarders than Brandon Aubrey at 18. He's got 18 since entering the NFL at the start of last season. So he's kind of making a name for himself for kicking those longest of potential field goals. But now we get to the whole jury duty situation. And the media, the beat reporters that cover the Cowboys, they noticed this, that yesterday, Wednesday, October 23rd, he was absent from practice. Like, he's rarely ever absent from practice. He's the kicker. So they asked some questions. The team ultimately confirms what was speculated, and apparently there were some witnesses too that saw him either at the courthouse or wherever he was reporting to jury duty. They saw the Cowboys kicker there, so the team confirmed that his absence was because of attending jury duty. He was doing his civic duty. He also opted to not try and postpone this or delay this, and that's a tactic I've actually used in the past, and not out of trying to avoid it, but sometimes the schedule just doesn't work out, like my busy period of work and life, and now is just not a good time, so can I delay this? They give you some dates, they come back, you schedule it for several weeks or several months down the road, and then ultimately, yeah, your time comes up, and if they need you, they call on you. You got to do what you got to do. But somehow, some way, Brandon Aubrey ended up on a 12-person jury for a felony assault case in Tarrant County, Texas. I mean, it's crazy to think of the odds, number one, that his name would be called, but that happens. During the season, that's also just kind of bad timing. I guess other players might get jury duty calls during the year, but the fact that he didn't try and get out of it, didn't try all the excuses like, my job, my travel, I'm distracted, I'm a public figure, maybe this isn't a good idea. For whatever reason, the judge let him on this 12-person jury for a felony trial. Now, you should know that it doesn't seem like he's going to miss any football games. He is missing practice like he did yesterday. Reportedly, he's going to miss today on Thursday and tomorrow on Friday. Now, is he still getting his kicks in? Does he need to actually be at proper practice? Can he do this after hours? How does that change his life or his strategy? But the case does not require the jurors to be sequestered. So we've seen that, right, in documentaries, in movies, where they take all the jurors and they send them away to a hotel, they put them in protection, and you can't actually continue your normal life. That's not the case for Brandon Aubrey. Seems like he will be available on Thursday nights and Sunday afternoons and Sunday nights and whatever Monday night games. I don't know the Cowboys schedule by heart, but the point is that he should be available to actually play in games. It's just, how about the practice times? He seems like until this case is concluded, he's going to be busy. He will be available for this Sunday's game at Levi Stadium against the 49ers. By the way, I'm going to that game. I'll get to see him in person. But there's no timetable on how long the trial is going to last. And sometimes these go for multiple days, multiple weeks. I don't think months is in the cards, but you never know. And the judge has said that Aubrey's schedule can be accommodated. So to what extent, to what degree, I don't know. Does this affect the Cowboys? Like, will this affect his rhythm and his practice and his routine and timing and logistics? I don't know how he got into this situation, how he didn't try and totally get out of it. Apparently, like I said, he didn't try and delay this or stall this, and he wants to uphold it and realizes it's his civic duty. Credit to you, Brandon Aubrey, because that's not what I would do. Now, just don't mess up my fantasy team, will you? Keep it going, Aubrey. All right, you've made it here to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. Greatly helps me, this video, and this channel. And also, don't forget, before it ends, go down there and make sure that you are already subscribed to me here on this channel. That would be great, because that means I get to see you back here next time.